Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2018. Now, what you have in front of you is Cawthon's latest Rogue deck, which he did use to play in Daytona Regionals to, I believe, a 6-1-2 finish or a 5-1-3 perhaps. So an okay result. There was a lot of talk about this deck. Many people were wondering about his list. He did get streamed, but unfortunately he was streamed against one of the worst matchups for this deck, and he couldn't really showcase the full strategy of the deck. But I'm gonna try to showcase the list here myself. This is the only place where you can get 100% Ross's list. He's my friend. He gave me permission to make this video. And so this is 100% his 60 card deck from the regional, and we're going to go through it really quickly, and then we'll try to find a couple of games and see if we can pull off the infinite lock strategy. Now, this deck's official name is Shock Lock, okay? So that's the name he chose, that's the name he wants this deck to be known for. So we have Shock Lock here, which is based around Stoutland. Now, Stoutland, 140 HP, it's a card from Black and White, so it's a really old card. And Sentinel, the ability Sentinel means your opponent can play supporter cards from his or her hand as long as Stoutland is in your active spot. So, pretty good card. You get to deny Guzma, you get to deny N, you get to deny Sycamore, Lysander, Ghetsis, etc. So Stoutland is the first piece of this combo deck. The attack Wild Tackle is completely irrelevant. You will never be attacking with Stoutland, I guarantee you that. We only run 4 basic energy in this deck, so using Wild Tackle is not relevant. However, the evolution lines are actually very relevant here. We have Herdier, which has 90 HP and has the ability Treasure Hunt. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put an item card from your discard pile into your hand. So getting cards back like VS Seeker, like Computer Search, like Devolution Spray, like Field Blower, like Rare Candy, Ultra Ball, VS Seeker, Sparkling Robe even. All of those are very important to this combo, and so getting access to an extra copy of any of those cards is really good. And then finally we have probably one of the most important cards in the deck. We have Lillipup from, once again, a Black and White set, the original Black and White set, with the attack Pickup, where you get to put an item card from your discard pile into your hand. Now this is the most important attack in the whole deck because you get to use Pal Pad and VS Seeker, and most importantly Devolution Spray, so that you can keep the combo going. So the main part of the combo is Stoutland, and then the reason this deck works is thanks to Raichu. This is Raichu from Burning Shadows, so we're using very polarizing cards. A card that was released, what, 5 or 6 years ago, with a card that was released just last month. Evo Shock, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon paralyzed. So the whole idea is using Pickup with Lillipup, getting back Devolution Sprays, always having a Pikachu on the bench where you can evolve into Raichu, locking your opponent's active Pokemon fully paralyzed and therefore denying him any attacks, and eventually running him out of cards in his deck, in his or her deck, because they cannot play N to refresh their deck, or Shauna, or Colress, or whatever card they run. And then how do we use Pickup? Well, we have Celebi-EX, which has the ability Time Recall, where all your evolved Pokemon can use the attacks from their previous evolutions. So that's how you're able to use Pickup. You get to pick up Pal Pad, you get to pick up VS Seeker, you get to pick up Devolution Spray, what else? Field Blower, Computer Search even, Sparkling Robe, all of those very useful item cards. And then, as for tech, we have a 2-1 Goodra line. Goodra, with its ability Slip Trip, each player can't attach any Pokemon tool cards from his or her hand to any of his or her Pokemon. That means a tool card cannot be attached to Garbotoxin to shut off Evo Shock and also shut off Celebi-EX. So Goodra is the tech, the anti-Carburetor tech. It's the only way you win, and if Goodra is priced, then you immediately concede to Carburetor. And then we have the 2 Tapu Lele in order to try and set up, or help us with setting up by finding Brigette or any other supporter card we might need. But bench space is very crucial in this deck because you always want to have an active Stoutland, you want to have a bench one in case they do have Escape Rope, you want to have a space for Celebi-EX, and you want to have 2 Pikachu. So that essentially leaves only 1 bench space for 1 Tapu Lele, or perhaps even the Goodra sometimes. There are matches where you only have 1 Stoutland, so there's a lot of combo pieces to this deck, and it takes a while to set up, but once you get the lock going, it essentially becomes an unwinnable situation for your opponent. And then for supporters, we have 4 Sycamore, 2 Brigette, 2 AC, which are very crucial, 1 Guzma, 1 Shauna, and 1 Skyla. Now, the 2 AC with Pal Pad work really well in the end because you do also run out of cards in your deck, of course, but with Pal Pad and AC, you essentially get an infinite lock going because you use, if the last 2 cards in your deck are AC and you get to pick up Pal Pad, you draw 1 AC, you play it, and then it's in the discard, and then you draw the next one and you play it, and then you're reusing Evo Shock, and then you Pal Pad once again, and you put the 2 ACs back, so you can essentially never deck out. And also you do have access to Shauna, so if your opponent is running low and you have like a 20 card hand and then you use Shauna, you probably beat your opponent to not decking out. Other important cards are Tropical Beach. These help you in getting set up. They're very expensive, of course, but they do help you in getting set up. You have the 4 Ultra Ball, the 4 Rare Candy. I have explained the Pal Pad. Super Rod, because you do end up sacrificing some Pokemon in the early game, so Super Rod gets those pieces back. Devolution Spray, so that you can return Raichu and evolve it back down to get the luck going. Computer Search, overall a great consistency card as an ace spec. And then you have 2 Sparkling Robe because there's things like Malamar attaching energy, or things like Hypnotoxic Laser, which means which makes it so that you can maybe fall asleep and therefore you don't get to use pickup and therefore you miss an Evo Shock or something. So Sparkling Robe, pretty important here to prevent those situations. And then we finally have 4 Lightning Energy in order to use pickup, and in the very rare scenario where you are able to buy yourself a turn with Thunder Wave from Pikachu. So that's the deck. Let's jump into a ladder and see if we can get some games going or a game going where we can showcase the full strategy with this Shock Lock deck, which definitely shocked a lot of people at the regional. This deck can definitely struggle to set up, and that's one of the drawbacks, but once you get to that perfect position, and now, disclaimer, I will very likely make a lot of misplays with this deck, a lot of misplays, and we seem to be up against Carpenter, so already a really bad matchup for us, and we're going second, so if we see that we're in a very losing position, we will try to make amends. However, we do know that Goodra is not priced, so that's a good start for us. That's actually a good start for us. We have the Brigette, we started Lillipup, which might not be ideal because it does run the risk of getting knocked out, but we are going to try to get the lock going right here immediately. By attaching the energy to the Trubbish, my opponent is essentially not threatening my Lillipup too much. Captain Shiv, I feel like because of the sleeves and stuff, this should be a high tier player, and we do see the Ultra Ball for the Lele. I wonder if we're gonna see a Brigette or some kind of supporter card. Our hand is actually pretty okay, I wanna say. So my opponent will get it, but I believe that's only going to help us here. Sure, he gets 3 extra cards, but that just makes our Tropical Beach that much stronger here. Just makes our Tropical Beach that much stronger. And if Lillipup ends up surviving the turn, that's really, really good for us. So we're gonna Lele, and we're going to Brigette here. Now the question is, what do we Brigette for? Do we think Lillipup is going down next turn? I genuinely don't think so. So we definitely want to find the Goomy. Goomy is crucial here. And now we are going to need, I don't think we can even afford to have the Lillipup go down. We might need Lele to go down or get rid of it somehow with AC. Because the other space has to be Celebi-EX for sure. So, we also don't have Guzma, we only have AC. So if Goodra gets stuck in the active before we are able to get Stoutland up, we could struggle there. But we do have all 4 Rare Candy, which is really good. Hopefully we draw one off of the Tropical Peach. We have 1 energy priced, which could hurt us a bit, but I'm gonna grab these 3. I believe that's the right play here. And then I'm gonna Tropical Beach for 5 brand new cards. No Rare Candy whatsoever, and no Stoutland in sight either. So we might end up discarding the Goodra here through Sycamore, and then through Juniper. Okay, my opponent chooses to get this once again. He'll only get 2 cards this time. But if we manage to get Stoutland active, that's a really good for us. And perhaps my opponent might not even realize what Stoutland does, so we might not even need the Goodra. At least not immediately. Okay, so discarding Rainbow and another Ultra Ball. Getting another Trubbish down, so there's the threat of Carburetor, but we might have enough time to set up Goodra if we have Stoutland active. We'll have to see. The Ultra Ball, losing the Ultra Ball definitely hurts though. It most definitely hurts. And my opponent chooses to use Big Will GX, so... Okay, another bad discard here. I guess I do pick up here. Not a great hand though. So we're struggling. We are definitely struggling. We are able to find a Stoutland. However, that means we won't be able to pick up here. An energy does mean a knockout on the Stoutland. We didn't find a Pikachu either. I'll touch the Sparkling Robe just to draw extra cards. And okay, so there's Celebi, there's Raichu, there's an energy, but no Rare Candy now. So we're really missing a lot of crucial cards. There's the Floatstone, so what I'm gonna do, we're really not drawing enough cards from the combo to do well here. So I'm gonna concede and let's try to find another better game. So you can see how Carburetor is a really tough matchup. Bros is pretty sure that it's... Bros is pretty adamant that the matchup is 50-50. I guess drawing cards in a different order would have definitely helped us. If we had found a first Rare Candy off of the first Juniper, we would have still lost it because of the Getsis. However, we would have had a chance to get the Goodra online to prevent Carbotoxin, so that was a good first step. Now this time around we do get to go first, and we'll see if we can pull the combo off. We start Celebi, which is not ideal, but at least we don't have to search for it anymore. We'll get to see our opponent's deck a little bit here, and it is Mega Gardevoir. Okay, so this could be good for us. I'm not sure which Mega Gardevoir it is, but either one, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so an extra card, a Rare Candy, pretty good, and we get another Tropical Beach. So we definitely don't need the Sparkling Robe here. And well, the Field Blower could be good to delay a Gardevoir if he attaches a Spirit Link. So I guess I'll get rid of the extra Tropical Beach we did get. And then I'm going to Lele for a Brigette. And we have the Stoutland for next turn. The issue is we have to get Stoutland in the active spot for it to work. But we'll slowly get there, right? We will slowly get there. The good thing is we don't need Goodra in this matchup, so that's one less thing we have to worry about setting up. Gonna grab the little Pikachu for now. And I'm going to play the Tropical Beach, and I'm going to draw 3 extra cards. There's a Goodra. We could potentially use this last spot for Oh, there's Sylveon, so an all fairy tech for my opponent. We could use we could use perhaps another Lele in this spot. Okay, so there's a Spirit Link I was talking about, that's really good. My opponent chooses to use Tropical Beach himself, but I'm okay with that. Field Blower will remove the Spirit Link, which is great for us. We can use Ultra Ball. I generally think we will probably dominate this with Stoutland. So I feel like we could easily search for another Lele here. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna discard the Stoutland and the Lillipup, and then I'm gonna immediately put them back. I'm gonna grab the second Lele. With second Lele, I'm gonna grab Juniper. And we're gonna get a fresh 7 cards, and then we're gonna play some things, and then we will probably be able to use Tropical Beach for a couple extra cards. So cycling through the deck pretty well. We also have AC to try and bench another Lillipup, which is great. There's a Juniper, but yeah, I feel like rushing into luck is our best option here. Unless my opponent is playing a Comfy. If my opponent is playing a Comfy, then we are definitely going to struggle here. Okay, so I'm going to Evo Shock the Florges. I do want to paralyze, thank you very much. I will attach energy to a Celebi, and I will retreat into Stoutland. And playing the Devolution Spray right now doesn't really change anything, so I'm just gonna draw an extra 2 cards. Herdier but yeah, with 1 more energy, we can just start the combo already, so that's really good for us. Just 1 more energy. Can we find an energy off of the next 7 cards Sycamore? That's the question. So my opponent cannot play any more supporter cards. And I feel like this game could be the one where we get to showcase this. Unless my opponent is playing the Comfy. Okay, so Raichu. I will Evo Shock once again. And then I just Sycamore away here. Actually, that's a mistake. I should have played the Devolution Spray, which I do find another one, so that was very lucky. I also managed to find a Lightning Energy, and we know that Pal Pad is in the deck, so we actually have a way to start picking up cards. So let's pick up. We definitely need a Devolution Spray for next turn. Or not, we have AC, so never mind. What do we pick up? Well, the Devolution Spray means we can actually use AC on Tapu Lele, so that seems a lot better. And then we can just keep picking up the Devolution Spray. We can set up a second Stoutland. Yeah, we seem to have the lockdown now. So we have gone through quite a few cards, but as long as the 2 AC are in the deck, we should be good here. My opponent just Tropical Beaches, attaches energy. Okay, so we're gonna Evo Shock. We are going to Devolution Spray the Raichu. Then we are going to AZ up a Lele, and we're gonna bench another Lillipup. And then we are going to use pick up once again on the Devolution Spray. So we have an infinite loop going now, essentially. We will be drawing cards just like our opponent. However, we do have the Pal Pad plus double AC in order to prevent the deck out scenario. So I feel like this will be the game where we get to showcase the full strategy, and we've gotten to the point where unless my opponent plays something like an escape rope, we should be okay here. And we even have access to Herdier to help us with the item discard. So there's a Devolution Spray. If I use Herdier right now, I can get back another Devolution Spray and have both Raichus in my hand. And I can computer search away the tropical beach, sorry, and the Lillipup. It's not a tropical beach, it's a tropical beach. Grab the second AC. And we're in a pretty good position here. We have the full lock going. We are constantly reusing Devolution Spray in order to make sure we have the right choose for Evo Shock. My opponent does have more cards than we do in our deck, but we do have AC to just keep shuffling back everything. Not AC, Pal Pad, sorry. GX could be an issue if my opponent does return a third Pikachu. So perhaps that's what we should be focusing on. I would like to leave my opponent's Pokemon paralyzed. I will AZ the Tapu Lele now. I will play the Devolution Spray, no reason not to. And I think I can afford, okay, I'm gonna evolve the other Stoutland, and I'm going to pick up the Super Rod here. So I'm playing two worst case scenarios where my opponent potentially uses GX with Sylveon and returns both Pikachus. So I essentially need 3 Pikachus down. And the fact that he cannot Guzma a Stoutland to the bench is really, really good for us. Like, really, really good. I'm going to Super Rod back the Pikachu, the Energy, and I guess the Lillipup, just in case. And then I'm going to Ultra Ball away the Goomy and the Tapu Lele. So I'm playing to this like worst case scenario. However, is this the right play? Now I'm not entirely sure. We do have versus Seeker still to draw, so that's good. Triple Pikachu means triple, we prevent the GX scenario. So once again, playing to a worst case scenario, and then we're just gonna grab the Devolution Spray. And that's more than enough, and we are going to deck out our opponent here. Pretty unorthodox deck by my opponent. However, the idea behind this video is to showcase the full Stoutland strategy. More so than showcasing, Wander Energy. Oh, but Wander Energy, okay. Wander Energy prevents effects of attacks, right? So it does not prevent Evo Shock from happening. And that's really, really good. Because we do have the 2 Raichus, we can take a turn to not get Devolution Spray. So I might use this turn and get back the Pal Pad, and that way I can put back the 2 ACs, or I guess as long as we don't show the Pal Pad, my opponent might think he has a chance at winning. So not entirely sure, but we'll see. So yeah, my opponent must be in quite a shock, hence the name Shock Lock, as to what is going on. He just keeps attaching energy, and we just keep reusing our Raichu. Oops, that's the Pikachu that just evolved. And we do want to paralyze. We will just pick up the Devolution Spray, and we have the Infinite Loop here. We have the Infinite Loop. This works against Garbodor as well, as long as one of your bench Pokemon is a Goodra, and you have used a Field Blower to remove the first tool from Garbotoxin. That way they cannot attach tools to their Garbotoxin anymore. And now we see a Hoopa, probably getting Gardevoir EX, Mega Gardevoir EX. Yep, there it is. The really pretty one. But yeah, I mean, usually in real life, an opponent would have conceded by now and try to win a game by preventing the lock. However, in this particular scenario, I don't think there's a way that my opponent can win anymore. I don't think. There's the Devolution Spray, so yeah, really good for us. Things are going really, really good. We could even Juniper and show him the Pal Pad AC strategy. And so you guys, I'm actually gonna do that next turn. I'm going to okay, so I'm going to evolve into Raichu, and I do want to paralyze. I will play the Devolution Spray. I guess I will play the Field Blower, doesn't really matter. And then I could Juniper here. However, first I'm going to pick up the Pal Pad now. And then next turn I can pick up the Devolution Spray because I do have the triple Raichu, so that helps as well. The triple Pikachu rather. So my opponent must be a bit confused as to why I picked up the Pal Pad, and we are going to use the Pal Pad to put back both AZs into the deck. That's what's going to let us do the combo later on, I hope. I hope I didn't mess up here. There's the Shock Lock once again, the EVO Shock, and now we're going to Juniper. So now we have AZs to also reuse our ability beyond just having the Devolution Sprays. And we also have a Seeker to reuse AC, so 6 cards, and we might see a concession once my opponent realizes the Pal Pad AC strategy. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to play the Sparkling Robe, and I'm going to Devolution Spray, and I guess I'm also going to AC to showcase the strategy here. So I will bench the Pikachu, I will paralyze through the Raichu, and then, because I'm actually like not 100% sure how this Pal Pad strategy is going to work. So yeah, just want to make sure I have the end game right here, because this deck does take a lot of practice and a lot of testing in order to get right. It's kind of like a different version of Sable Garb, I guess. Okay, how? I'm a bit confused. I want to make sure I don't deck myself, right? So I will play this, and then I believe getting Pal Pad here is correct because I still have ACs. Yeah, I think this is correct. I think so. Okay. So paralysis, and then yes, and then play the AC, get back this Raichu, bench the Pikachu, and then pick up the Devolution Spray. There we go. So 24 cards by my opponent, so that's 20 more turns before we deck him out. Potentially more if he has Super Rod, but as long as we play fast, we should be good here. Like, we shouldn't run out of time. Paralyzed, that could be one factor that stops someone from playing this deck online. You do have to take into account the fact that there's a timer. In real life, turns do get do go a lot quicker, and in a best of 3, if you manage to set up game 1, you can probably win that first game on, if your opponent decides to play it out. So yeah, we have 1 card left in the deck, right? So we can evolve, and then we pick up the Devolution Spray. Pick up the Devolution Spray, and then next turn, once we draw the last card in our deck, we play Pal Pad for 2 AZs, and that's what we're going to reuse the Raichus now, from now on. And that way, after you've used the 2 AZs, you play Pal Pad again, and then you put back 2 AZs, and so you essentially never, ever deck yourself out. So there's a Raichu play, and then we're going to Pal Pad, both AZs. There we go. So now we have 2 cards left in our deck. There's a Raichu. We paralyze, and now we can pick up the Pal Pad to ensure. Yeah, there we go. We can pick up the Pal Pad to ensure, because we know we're going to draw an AC, so we can pick up the Pal Pad, and the next turn we can pick up a Devolution Spray. So we have this cycle going on, and we are essentially never going to deck out, and it's still 20 more turns for our opponent to deck out. Okay, so AC. Pikachu, I don't want to run out of time, right? And then I do want to paralyze. I have the Pal Pad already, so I can pick up a Devolution Spray this time around. And yeah, it's one turn Devolution, one turn no Devolution, and we should be good here to win this match. We should be good. Now we use AC, we pick up the Raichu. So yeah, this, like, the correct sequencing is very important here. Double AC back into the deck, evolve Pikachu into Raichu, paralyze. Yes, paralyze. I wish you could click on always paralyze or something. Then we can use this as well. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, so there is absolutely no way we do not win this match. I'll just grab the Pal Pad just in case. I don't want to mess up. We have 2 cards left, and then it's the 2 AC, and that's how you cycle through everything, right? 18 turns left for my opponent. He must be really wondering how to do something, and there's a victory. So perfect timing. We got to showcase the cycling through Pal Pad. We got to showcase how important Celebi-EX is, the Tropical Beach, setting up the Stoutlands. We only needed 1 Stoutland this turn, but the ACs are very crucial as well. Better than ACROLS, because there's nothing you want to pick up alongside the Pokemon, and you don't want to be restricted by the Pokemon having any damage on it. So yeah, the MVP was apparently Celebi-EX, although I would argue it was everything. Well, actually, Celebi-EX does seem to be the MVP, just because it allows you that pickup strategy, right? Without Celebi-EX, the deck would definitely have the deck would not be viable. And there's a Shining Celebi coming out in Shining Legends, a promo, which has the same ability. So perhaps someone will find a way to make this sort of combo viable as well, and standard perhaps, who knows. But yeah, this is the Shocklock deck. Huge props to Cawthon for the deck list. Thank you so much for letting me do the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.